Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. This is going to be something a little bit different. I haven't filmed a YouTube video in a while, like a long form video, but I'm just like feeling like I just want to come on here and kind of introduce myself. My name is Leo Alva. I was born in Chicago. I moved like at 1 year, right? So I was raised in Austin, Texas. What do they do? Like, what do YouTubers do when they're like introducing themselves? Like, fuck. Anyways, I was raised Catholic, right? And I went to a private white Catholic school. It was very interesting, I'm gonna say. I don't remember too much from there. I just remember when I left, it was so great. Oh my goodness. I don't know who else has been in Catholic like private school, but it is something like totally different. That is really where we'll see like that was one of my first instances like of different tax brackets, like literally coming back every single year. I would hear how my classmates went to like Spain, went to fucking the Caribbean or some shit, like all of them taking trips and everything. It was just different. Like it was just an eye-opening experience for sure. I did not enjoy my time there. I do not align with the Catholic religion at all. And if I would have known that sooner, I would have dipped the fuck out even faster. Third grade. So I left at third grade. For backstory, I've always been like as a kid, like I used to be really like out. I used to be really like expressive, being like, conditioned to be a little bit more like within the religion, which did not align with me at all. Just repressing every single like emotion that I was feeling. I was just bottling up, but I started realizing like I might be different. Like feeling different, right? As a kid, I used to always be really emotional. If somebody said something to me, I took it to heart. I'm just like that, I have a very big heart. That was kind of like the entire thing throughout school of me just navigating the ways that people like communicate with each other. It was just a lot. Like it was just a lot trying to navigate it. Cut to like fourth grade, fifth grade, I moved to a public school. And I had always advocated for public school. There's just something inside of me that understands like if you're like we live in the real world, why would you not want to go to a public school, So I advocated for myself for public school, and it was very interesting. My teacher literally like he was a fucking bully, bro. I was very flamboyant as a kid, and people used to fucking love picking on me just because I wasn't as sad as them. Like, you hate your life, I don't. Like, I was a fucking kid. Anyways, like, I ended up leaving that school because that teacher and, like, literally the entire situation, like, it was just getting too much where I was just no longer feeling, like, good because of that teacher. Middle school was really when I started, like, rebelling. If you guys have seen my earlier videos, I have struggled with mental health for, like, the majority of my life, and middle school is kind of where it really started really heavy for me. I was introduced to self-harm at this age. I was in 7th grade. Kind of like when I started getting feelings about my identity, queer, and I've always actually had like, literally like I've always had this like thing with the word gay because it was always used to describe me like in a negative connotation until I realized that being straight is the most basic, boring fucking thing ever. And now I take pride in it, right? But like before, even now, like I'll use queer or something else because I've never wanted that word to define me. I'm somebody who, like, that's just one facet of me, and I will never let that be my entire identity because it's not. This was a really dark time for me. There was like this like trend going on around the school of cutting herself. And I was just like, dude, like, why would you do that? And there was something inside my head that was just like curious, and I just wanted to try it. I wasn't going through anything at this time consciously. I think subconsciously there was already the inkling that I wanted to just kind of, I don't know, like give myself pain for the way to like relax from all the pain that I was taking from the outside world. When I first tried it, like I didn't really feel anything from it. And then once I started like keeping going, I started seeing it as a way of like transmuting my pain, like making it visible, and then it scars and then it heals. So it was like my brain was trying to like make sense of what was going on. And that was a lot, y'all. Like that was a lot. Like I think that was the first time where I truly was like I truly just didn't want to be here anymore. I just wanted to leave. I just didn't want to keep going, you know, because I felt like at that point, it's already like a big moment. I have not had the regular identity experience or whatever. It's been super complicated. It's been super crazy. I didn't get to come out to my parents. I was more outed in a way. My mom, she had found this note in my room. In the note, I was describing to my friend, same time in 7th grade. I had already had an inkling about my identity, so I was like, hey, I told you this about me because I trust you and because I want you to know this about me because it's important. So I ended up throwing it in my trash bin, and I don't know about you guys, but Mexican parents, sometimes they're just so ingrained in their own traditions and norms and ideologies. It's really hard to break away from that if you are by yourself. Trust me. So I already knew from the get-go that it was probably not going to be something that was celebrated, which is why I hid it. Then that morning, I remember the feeling, like my stomach literally dropped. My mom was standing over me. She just starts telling me like all these negative things about like the road that I'm about to go on. Tell it was from a place of like worry, you know. She had never, she's very traditional. My whole entire family is very conservative, and they had never dealt with something like this before. It was very extreme. They did not help at all. They were the main reason why I was going through a lot. Looking back on it now, like I understand where their heads were at. It was a lot. It was a lot. After that, I really started distancing myself from them. I really started just getting this mentality in my head that I needed to start just like looking out for myself. You know, I needed to start like breaking out. I needed to start doing shit for myself. I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to live the life that I wanted to in the space that I was in. All of this is literally going on at 7th grade. In my head, subconsciously, I'm already thinking, okay, I gotta get out. I gotta go. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Several times, like, I tried running away from home. I literally, like, would run out of my house screaming, running through the street because I just didn't want to be in that house anymore. You guys are familiar with Mexican parents are very... A lot of them like to still do, like, physical... How would you even say that? There's not even a word for that. Physical, like, reinforcement, I guess. It's so archaic to say, and it's incredibly, like, disheartening to realize that, like, I had to put up with so much of baggage that wasn't even yours because you just accept it, you know? My last year at that school was really just, like, me coasting because I already had all this going on in the background. I've never really had friends. It's always just been temporary because something always falls out. They end up moving weird. Then comes high school. I remember the first 2 years of my school, I had been transferred to this other charter school. I didn't know what to expect. It was just something that was picked for me. And I was like, okay. I had never been to a charter school before. I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was like a mix between public and private. So I was like, all right, maybe it'll be a good balance. And the first 2 years, everything was really nice. I ended up making friends. I ended up excelling in like all my classes. I was, like junior vice president. Like I was good, you know, I had found solace in academics. My home life wasn't where I wanted it to be. I could at least like put my attention towards like my grades, and I could at least like excel in that, you know? I could at least just focus on that. I burnt out. I don't care anymore about the grades. I end up realizing that high school is just a blip. All the little like small things that I'm doing, like the homework and all this shit, like the teachers fussing over the homework and all this bullshit, I just ended up realizing like it just was not as serious as how I had pictured it in my brain, as how I had been conditioned to. Formal education had always been super pushed onto me from a young age. The old myth that formal education will guarantee you a career or something. You don't need a degree to be successful, and I always knew that from a young age. There was no other option because I didn't know any other route, any other path. That on top of like this identity issue that was going on, like it was just a lot for me at the time. After the 2 years, started partying every single like weekend. It's like my only source of dopamine at the time. Go out to the club every single weekend. I would go out with my friend where I was working at. And it was like a way for me to like run from what I was really feeling. It was a way for me to put myself into a good environment and just lose myself. It really helped for the first year, I would say. The last year, a friend group that I was in, all talking amongst each other, gossiping all the time. It was just really toxic. So I ended up leaving. I had no friends for the last 2 years of my high school. which I think was really necessary for me because it ended up letting me like go more into my work, and I was able to really dive into building for myself, right? I actually ended up being junior vice president in my junior year, and I ended up like really trying to like advocate for the school and everything, the policies and everything. Oh, like I did a lot for the school, I'm not gonna lie. Like I did a lot for the school, for the students, bro. And then the fucking worst part is that for the senior year, they didn't even fucking vote me again. They ended up fucking voting somebody else, and she ain't even do shit, y'all. Like, bro, high school ends, I already know I'm gonna go into college. That was like a really good summer. That summer, I was just out partying. It was cool. So I get to college. At this time, there was already like a lot of issues that was going on with my family. Subtly suggested that I start like looking for other living accommodations. Having that in my head really made me, it really disoriented me. It made me feel like nobody wanted me, and it just made me start to get in this scarcity, really aggressive mindset of, oh, like I need to like be on my shit, I need to be on my shit, I need to be on my shit. More detrimental than beneficial. It just made me super hyper aware of everything. It put me in survival mode for a good amount of time. Made me super anxious. This is when I started realizing that I was on the spectrum, that I'm neurodivergent. Brain did not work as the same as other people, and I needed to like coordinate. The first year I had one roommate, and I ended up moving out like 2-3 weeks after. I just could not. People like, especially like on the spectrum, like you can feel other people's energy. So being so small in a room like that, so uncomfortable. I did not like it at all. I hated not having my privacy. I hated not having my own autonomy. I hated not being able to sleep, do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want. I really would cry because I wanted to just be somewhere else, you know, anywhere else. Ended up moving out, come back home. Already there's like the underlying notion that it would be better if I was at the dorm. Start rebelling, and I'm just like, if nobody wants me, well then I'm just gonna party. Started just sinking more into like that abyss. Like, I don't know who's familiar with it. When you really are down, like when you're really really down, even now I won't be able to simulate it because this has been in the past, but catch me at the right moment, you'll see all the emotion pour out. It was just a point in my life where I didn't like where I thought I was going. I didn't like where I had been. I didn't like where I was. It was just an all-consuming type of depression that made me so low. I was just drinking to black out. So many times that I don't even know how I'm still alive. So many near-death experiences that I think really helped open my eyes. Such a big commotion of me literally being an alcoholic at the time because I was finding solace in alcohol. I just didn't understand how my brain worked. I didn't know how to manage my emotions. I didn't know how to do all this. I thought, okay, let me dampen them, let me go drink. I was drinking a lot. And now, like, I won't drink. There's just too many bad memories associated. After everything had calmed down, after the entire, like, commotion that was, I ended up leaving college because I just did not like the environment that I was in. It was a white school, not being able to see like any kind of representation that was similar to me, not being able to click with anybody, and in fact like honestly not really caring about fitting with anybody. Hard navigating school when you have already lived through all of this. So like when you go into the school, like you're not even just a student, like you're a liver, like you've lived. Like it's just so hard to already be on that mature mindset in a classroom with like literal like kids. Like I'm a kid too, but like mentally like they're kids, and it's just crazy. I ended up just saying to myself, you know what, I'm gonna leave because I'm not comfortable here anymore. I'm not having fun. I'm just gonna leave. I took several flights that summer. Loose attempts to run away, to distract myself for a minute. I wasn't happy being here. I'm like putting little like chunks of like things that would add up, and at the time, this was when I started realizing that this was mania. On one of my trips, I had ended up having a really scary incident. I ended up going to jail for 3 days. I had rented a car. Thought I was gonna be in the city for a few days, so I was like, okay, let me get a car, travel around and be on my own, like, you know, everything. One night was the night, y'all, like the entire day, trying to be so warm and loving. I had treated myself that morning to, this just happened over the past summer too, that's why this is still fresh. Ended up wanting to invite my family for food. I wanted to either treat them or I wanted to go out with them, to a restaurant. At the time, had saved up a lot, so I felt really good where I was financially. Go ahead and do this for you guys, And me and my sister were in an argument, tensions were heated, and then she calls my mom. I just remember just so much negative energy being produced from my mom in this one phone call. She was talking, at the time, my grandfather, may he rest in peace, he wasn't looking too good in his condition. So I understood the urgency that she was talking with. She very blatant on the phone, hey, come over. He's not looking too good. And something in that, I think it was just all the energy and emotion that had bottled up. I ended up going into a manic episode. I was driving the car trying to take my sister to the place where my mom had said. I just remember my brain turning off, and suddenly it seemed I just seemed disoriented, and it seemed like everything was kind of just not as serious as what it was. Kind of dampened. I don't know how to explain it. Up here, I would say this is kind of baseline, and then it just blew, and all my dopamine, everything was gone. I was just so I end up passing by this cruising officer on the same highway, and of course I'm speeding at the time because my only thought was get there, get there, get there. So I'm speeding, and the police officer sees me, obviously. They turn on the lights, they're behind me. I'm trying to make it to the destination that my mom was telling me to go to, and they end up pitting into me before I can make it there. Of course, they don't know what's going on. They just see this one car speeding. I think I had ran a red light or something too. Safely though. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you're a good driver, you know what I'm talking about. So safely. I remember again getting pitted into, and then everything happens. Everything goes to shit. There's a gun pointed at me. I'm just telling him hey, let's chill. So it was a lot. I ended up just going into really crazy there. I was screaming, I was yelling, and eventually I got taken to obviously the jail. Let me tell you, oh my god, it was just 3 nights, but those 3 fucking nights, actually they were not that bad. Honestly, y'all, compared to the prison that I've already been living in, they were not bad. They were not bad, y'all. Honestly, it was pretty calming. If I would have been anywhere else, or if I would have seen it as anything else, it was pretty calming. I mean, it was 3 days where the food was bad, yes, because it was just sandwiches, but even then, I like a good sandwich. I just tried to make the most out of it. I literally, y'all, I just tried to be as happy as I could be, because I knew that my heart was in the right place, and something inside me told me that I was protected, that this was all just supposed to happen. Because once I got out, I reconnect with family members, and they end up helping me, and it was through this help that I was actually able to be diagnosed as bipolar. I was able to be diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, with depressive disorder. It was a huge wake-up call. It was my crash out. I don't know if a lot of bipolar people can relate to this, but I think we all have had our crash out, where the point where you realize something needs to change. And I really am grateful to the universe that experience was not remembered in a different type of way for me, because I remember everything good that came from it. I remember the time that I was there. I was talking to people, the guards, when I could. Most of the time that I was there, I just slept, so it wasn't bad. I remember coming across a lot of people who I could tell that they had good in their heart. I also saw a lot of injustices though too. I mean, y'all, this justice system is something, but it really showed me the areas that I needed to change in my life. So I'm really grateful for that. Following that, happened in another state, right? Come back to Chicago, start my treatment. Now I'm currently on lamotrigine. I am navigating my mental health. I am putting myself first. I'm going for the things that I once never thought I could. I think that a lot of the years, 10 years of like depression. You know me from before and you see me now, you know I'm different. You can see I'm different, that I act different. Like a shift can change you. I would not be the same person I am here a year ago from right now. It's so powerful and eye-opening how you can go through so much shit. You can go through hell. You can stay in hell and you can still make it out. I started realizing that a lot of the things that I was worrying about, social anxiety, something that's always been a really big part of my journey. Literally from the moment that I was young, I started getting criticized, ostracized, picked on. So this entire year has just been such a like message for me to live my life, to be proud, to be artistic, to be expressive, to be creative, to show my emotions. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to promote from now on. If you guys come across my videos, content, I just want people to be able to align with it. I want people to be able to connect with it. I literally see it like this now, how me expressing myself now is the biggest like resistance to all the past 10 years of trauma and pain and extreme loneliness. Now I'm doing something with it, and it's like the blueprint for what I'm gonna create now. I'm very happy about that. I'm very excited, very grateful to the universe for putting me on the right track. I asked out loud, I was like, universe, what do I do? Universe, show me what I do. Like, what should I do? Where should I go? I promise you guys, if you do that, you will slowly start to pick up on feelings or emotions or thoughts, mentalities, whatever that have been hinting at you. It's a part of you. And if you don't like run from the uncomfortableness, if you have made it through hell and you choose to see the light in everything, that is literally like the biggest, I would say, like F you to the universe in a way, but also like love you, because it's like, hey, I know what you put me through, but I know why you did it. Like a short like spiel of kind of who I am. A lot of my story is rooted in pain. A lot of my story is rooted in suffering. A lot of my story is rooted in hardship. Just want you guys to know that like there's a lot to me. You guys are gonna see, but yeah, I think that explains a lot why I am the way I am now. I don't really like talking to people unless I know you first, or like you seem like you're, you know, good to talk to, interesting to talk to. Relationship with my family is I'll leave it at that. This new vision for my life, like I have this new creative drive that I have sparked, and I just want to make art. Like I just want to make people happy. I want to make people laugh. I am a singer-songwriter writing my songs, so stay tuned for all of that. I'm literally have so much coming out, y'all. Like so much coming out. I'm about to take over the entire fucking world. It was kind of like an introduction to me. Really talk like what I've been through. Stay tuned for more YouTube videos. I'm like, if you guys want anything that I mentioned in this video, comment down below like what you want to hear more about, and I'm still gonna be posting like YouTube like story times and all of this. My name is Leo Alva. Oh yeah guys, till the next video.